It has been 84 long years since I've done a ranking video, so it is about time to change all of that and kick off a brand new series. We're going to be ranking all of Ash's companions' Pokemon, and today's video is ranking Misty's Pokemon. This ranking isn't based on how strong the Pokemon is, just really how important they are for the plot and who I like better. I'm excited to make these videos, so please show your support if you want to see more, as YouTube hates ranking videos these days, but we will push through and rank some damn Pokemon anyway. So let's get started and I hope you enjoy. At the very bottom of the bunch we have Azurill. This Pokemon literally did nothing of note. It appeared at the end of the advanced generation, and despite being gifted to Misty by the god himself Tracy Sketchit, after revealing it hatched from one of Maryl's eggs, this literally did nothing. It was just a replacement for Misty's Togepi. It did return in Journeys, but again, it just kind of sits there. Despite Goldeen being around for the whole of the original series, this Pokemon did nothing for me. It was used as a gag on its first appearance, as it couldn't battle outside of water, and then since we rarely got water battles, it just didn't appear. So other than at the World Cup, it was a pretty wasted slot on Misty's team. Also, it didn't really have any personality to speak of, so I wasn't really a fan of this Pokemon. And then we have Kassarin the Love Disc. This is a Pokemon we saw debut in Pokemon Chronicles. I thought it was a really nice episode involving Butch and Cassidy and Namba. Kassarin had a lot of personality and had a really wholesome relationship with Luverin. Next up we have Horsey, and this has a similar problem to Goldeen. Misty caught it quite early on in Kanto, and then it literally disappears for so long. Misty doesn't bring it out unless they're near a lake or a pond, and even then one of them instances is where she leaves it back at the Cerulean Gym. It's a huge shame because Horsey showed so much promise and personality in its debut, and it just wasn't explored in the original series at all. Misty's most recent capture, Clauncher, is up next, and this Pokemon was just really fun to watch. It didn't really care about becoming Misty's Pokemon at all, it just wanted to have a bro down with Corphish and train. It made a lot of funny moments in the episode, and it's crazy how this one Clauncher showed more personality than a Pokemon like Goldeen in just one episode compared to the whole of the original series Goldeen had. I hope to see more of Clauncher before the end of Aim to be a Pokemon Master. Misty's Staryu wasn't exactly wasted in its appearances, but I think the thing that holds it back is that Misty literally has a Starmie, and every time she brought out Staryu early on in the series, I just thought, why not use Starmie? They were both proven to be strong in battle, but I think Starmie always had the edge in power. However, Staryu's become really iconic for Misty since she's used it more than Starmie, so I can appreciate that it's part of Misty's core team. And then Starmie is next. Like I said before, Starmie was just the stronger of the two Pokemon, and I felt like it came in clutch in some important battles and moments. I just feel like it should have stayed around in the team rather than her leaving it at the Cerulean Gym instead of Staryu. Next is Corsola, and I thought this was just a really solid addition to Misty's team at a good point in the series. The Whirl Islands arc was underway, and finally Misty started to get a lot of development late on in Johto, and her capturing this Corsola helped. You could tell she wanted to battle with it and get stronger together, and there was a clear development for her and Corsola. We also saw it again in Chronicles and in Sun and Moon. I think it ended up being a really crucial Pokemon for Misty. Next up is Misty's Ace Gyarados. Some might argue that this should be number 1, but let's be honest, this Pokemon didn't really appear much until after Misty had left as a main character on the series. If she got it while she was still around, it would have had a lot more impact. It still had a fantastic Chronicles episode where it was still weird that she just randomly owned this Gyarados. I don't think we ever got an explanation of how she caught it, but his return in Sun and Moon was by far the most iconic, battling Ash in an epic 1v1 with Pikachu and mega evolving in the process. This is just another Pokemon that will be a mainstay on Misty's team forever. It was quite tough to find a placement for Togetic, but I thought 3 made sense. This Pokemon wasn't a battler, it was a cute mascot that Misty could hold for over 200 episodes, but unfortunately it didn't really do much. However, I can forgive Togepi because it's adorable and it is iconic for Misty. It had some really wholesome episodes, especially during the Orange Islands arc, where they were trying to do some sort of development with it by making it randomly use moves. But that all went out the window at the end. I also adore the Togepi and Houndoom episode, it's so wholesome to watch. However, the thing that holds Togetic back as number 1 is the fact that they released this Pokemon in the dumbest way ever. This was the worst release in Pokemon history. Nobody cares about Mirage Kingdom, a place that we are never going to see again. It's so frustrating, and Misty's trademark Pokemon just got dumped out. She could have had a Togekiss by now and it would have been really awesome. I'm still holding out hopes that it comes back, but Misty releasing Togepi was really unforgivable from the writers. Just all round a weird decision, but Togepi will always be a great Pokemon to me. You could argue this next one is even more iconic than Togepi, and that is Psyduck. Psyduck is one of the most up and down Pokemon for me. Sometimes it's just so damn annoying. Just stay in your Pokeball. But every time it lets itself out just to ruin Misty's battle progress. But I think that's part of the charm of Psyduck. It will always be that lovable dope who just stands around looking clueless. I really do love Psyduck as a Pokemon despite its annoying traits. I do wish we saw a bit more development from it. It still can't swim, which I would have liked to see an episode on screen learning and overcoming that. When it came back in Sun and Moon, it had mastered Water Gun, which it never could before. So there's big development beats that we just didn't get to see, which is a shame. But it's still a pretty iconic Pokemon for Misty. Finally, in first place, the best Pokemon of Misty's in my opinion is Politoed. This might not be Psyduck or Togepi, it might not be the first Pokemon that comes to mind when you think of Misty, but for me this is her best Pokemon in terms of development. It had the best arc from start to finish. We saw all the stages of it being a little shy Poliwag to evolving into Poliwhirl and becoming a strong battler, but still having that shy personality sometimes, especially when put against a stronger Poliwrath. And despite me being a bit disappointed when it did finally evolve, the type of Pokemon I like are usually the big muscly brawlers, so Poliwrath would have been dope as hell, but that wouldn't have made sense. Misty's Poliwhirl was always more suited to become a Politoed and more carefree, lovable, who would dance around and clap its hands. It was a really good bit of development for Politoed, and it changed quite a bit, even becoming a bit too laid back at the start, not listening to Misty's commands, but it of course became a powerhouse in battle and even recently took down Ash's Corphish in its latest return. A Pokemon owned by the world champ. So I'm a big fan of Politoed and everything it did for Misty's character. It helped her have some massive strong progression in Johto, and it comes in at number 1 for me. So that is it for this video. Be sure to smack that like button. If you want to see Brock's Pokemon ranked, if we can get 75 likes, I'll release that one straight away. But thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments who are your favourite Misty Pokemon of all time. How would your ranking compare to mine? I'd love to know. But that is it for now. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.